Hello, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast for this Sunday, November 24th. How are you all doing today? Hope you're doing fantastic and have had a nice past week. This is our final stream of November. We only have one more month left after this. Oh man, the year just flies by so quickly, doesn't it? It really does. Anyway, how are you all doing today? Hopefully you have had a very nice weekend. I'm doing all right today. Today was a very, very busy day for me, but we're here to just take it easy for the next hour. Just relax for a bit. James, it is nice to have you here. How are you doing, James? Hopefully you were doing very, very nice. We're going to be talking about parenting today. And you're going to see my babies today, too. You've never seen them before. They're brand new. Brand new. I have my tea as usual, keeping my hands warm because it has gotten quite chilly now. It was very warm earlier today, but now it is getting a bit colder. So we got to keep our hands nice and warm. Also, this is Thanksgiving week coming up, so yeah, we have the busy Thanksgiving holidays. So let's see. I don't think I can take a sip yet, but we can try. We can try soon. Not yet. Not yet. Thinking about it. Still too warm. Still too warm. So many people must be busy for the Thanksgiving holiday up ahead. We got no one here. We got no one here talking with us today. I should see how silent I can be for as long as I can before the next person arrives. We're saying I should just be completely zipped. I don't know if I can because like I just talk. Look, I just talk so much. I can be quiet under certain circumstances, but then it's like I can be a mime. That's what I can be. I can be a mime. You have to figure out what I'm trying to say. I do sign language. I don't know sign language. See, the silent stream, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do the silent stream. So we will get into our topic in just a moment here. This may be very quick. We have to see who shows up. If it's could be very, very quick. We have to say. I could talk, and then again, I could talk a lot. We shall see. We shall see. Let's give it a few more minutes here, and then we'll dive on into our topic at hand. Hopefully everyone is staying warm if it's cold where you are. Because yeah, when we approach the last month of the year, it starts to get quite chilly, doesn't it? It really does. Perfectly still. I thought I was frozen. I'm not frozen. Hmm. My babies, who have never been singing before, are almost ready to make their appearance. But first, we must dive into the topic at hand. We will in just a few minutes here. Ah, that's a funny one. I should do, it'd be very easy to do a silent stream if I just put myself on mute. And then no matter what I say, no one can ever hear. That's what it seems like a lot of times as well, because it's like, I say so many things, but it's like, I know that there's so many people who just, they don't want to listen to it. You know what I mean? It's like, they don't want to listen to things that are, I guess, maybe a bit uncomfortable for them to listen to, or things that are a bit harder for them to comprehend and really listen to, for whatever reason that could be. I feel as though a lot of people, it's very hard for them to really come to terms with their own problems that they have, that they don't want to face it, so they just block it out and deny it and ignore it. So it's much harder for certain people to really fully understand a lot of, what I say and everything. But what I have to say, I'm gonna just start talking about the topic at hand, and we'll just have to see how it goes. So on Friday, we had talked about the parenting, the proper way if you're ready to be a parent. And the unfortunate truth is, and this is actually very fitting, very, very fitting for the people who are here, in that people don't care when it comes to parenting. You're going to have a kid, and that's that. You're not going to often think about it. You're not going to be prepared for it. It's just going to happen. I would say the overwhelming majority of people, that is how it tends to be. As opposed to people who are thinking more about finances and being ready for a child, being mature enough. Those people often are the very small minority of people who are actually consciously thinking about having a kid, as opposed to just randomly having a kid here and there with whomever. And that's the unfortunate truth. And it actually reminds me of a movie. This is a movie that I saw a long time ago. This is a movie that came out in the 2000s. Well, I don't remember the exact year, but it was in the 2000s. But it's a comedy movie, and it's called Idiocracy. And the opening scene of that movie is basically this same exact premise, where the sophisticated, intelligent people are the ones that they have to think about it. They have to think about having a kid. We're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. And they keep postponing that until, well, they're no longer able to have a kid. And then you have the really dumb individuals reproducing like crazy, a whole bunch of people, into the point where sometime in the future, there's just a bunch of dumb people who run the world and are in the world, essentially. So it's basically more just like almost like a documentary than it is an actual comedy movie, because that's exactly how the situation plays out, and it's very interesting. So it really doesn't matter what I say when it comes to proper parenting techniques or being prepared to have a kid. Are you ready to have a baby? It doesn't really matter at all what I have to say here, because 99% of people do not care. And they're not going to listen to that. They're not going to really care about that or consciously think about that, because that's not in their nature to do so. But in order to be ready to have a child, there's many things to be mindful of if you want it to go smoother than it would. Not that raising any sort of kid is going to be a smooth process anyway, but if you were to have it go a little better than it could if it's just some random thing that you're not really even thinking about. A lot of times it comes down to your own maturity level. Are you even mature enough? Are you old enough even to care for another human being? Or are you still a child yourself, that you're not able to be mature enough to make the proper decisions for your child? That tends to be how it is a lot of times. It really is. People are not mature enough. You have people who have babies when they're very, very young even, and they're just not mature enough to really, raise the kid in a proper household. So that is one of the key things. Another big one is finances as well. Are you financially able to raise a child? Are you in a financial position to spend a lot more money on the things that a child needs in order to survive, in order to thrive even? A lot of times people aren't. They really aren't. They are often not in a good financial place. They often will not really think about finances, or they will underestimate just how much is involved with raising another child. Even just not when it comes to money, but also the energy and time put forward. Are you able to sacrifice a lot of your time? Are you able to put out a lot of your energy and time towards something that is external of yourself, that is not of your best interest, so to speak, or not something that you may even like? Some of the activities and some of the things you have to do that you do have to do in order for you to be responsible. That's part of being mature as well. Are you mature enough? A lot of people, no, they aren't. They really are not. Another big thing is, do you even want children? There's so many people, it's like, yeah, I don't want any kids, and then they, have a bunch of kids. It's very fascinating. Because it's like, well, what sort of environment are those kids growing up in from a parent who doesn't even want them? If you don't want any, why are you having them? Again, it comes back to the point where all the stuff that I'm saying here, people don't want to hear, people don't want to think about, and people are going to just completely ignore as they just... I don't think it's even going to, you know the saying, goes in one ear, out the other. It's not even going to be that. They're just going to deny it outright. But before it even enters their brain or enters their hearing whatsoever. And it's a sad thing. Primarily because you see so many children growing up in environments that are very damaging to them. That the parent is not involved, they don't care. The kid can just go on the internet and do whatever it is that they want. They're basically raising themselves. They're getting into a lot of trouble. They're not excelling in life like they should be. And that's the unfortunate truth about a lot of society and people having kids today. It's that they're not really thinking from a longer term perspective. But when you're really young, how could you? That's the major problem here. A lot of these people who are very young, who are having kids, they're not thinking long term because their brain is not able to think longer term. It's just more so in the moment, the present moment of what can satisfy this and that in the right now, as opposed to thinking, what are the repercussions of certain actions that I take? And that extends to many, many, many different things with someone's life, what they do to themselves, a bad decision that they make. So it plays a major role when it comes to having a child as well, because people aren't going to be responsible enough. They're not going to be thinking. They're not going to be thinking about the child's best interest. A lot of people are also very underprepared for raising a child as well, because what they're going to be thinking about is, they're going to be thinking in their mind just how easy it's going to be. They may have some idea here and there that, okay, maybe it is going to be a little hard here and there, whatever. but they're always going to underestimate the difficulty of it, to the point where when it actually is a reality and they actually say, oh gosh, I have so many years of this. Well, that becomes a major problem for them because they were not prepared. And there really is no way to be prepared. I would always say try to over exaggerate how much work something is so that if it's ever less, then you are in a better place mentally. Like, okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. So that makes you have a bit of a relief there. However, that tends to not be the case though for a lot of this. You can't expect that and any sort of easy method when it comes to having a child. You really cannot. So those are a lot of the key things when it comes to having a kid as well. But we must also think about when the child is born, what sort of environment are they growing up in? Are they growing up, as I said, in an environment where the parent is not actively involved, to the point where they feel neglected, they feel abandoned because the parent does not want the kid, or that they don't want to be a parent and they just want to pass that responsibility either off to someone else, or if there is no one else, just have the kid raise themselves. Perhaps there's a lot of abuse in the household when it comes to even domestic violence that kids witness. The thing is, kids are like sponges. Whatever they see, whatever they hear, gets absorbed into their brain, and that is what they end up becoming. Which is why it's so important to have a very proper household for them to grow up in that's not so negative. But the unfortunate truth is that's just not the case now, is it? A lot of times these kids are growing up in a very negative household where there is a lot of abuse and a lot of problems in their life. And they end up repressing a lot of these memories. It can cause PTSD, especially if they are directly abused themselves. It can cause a lot of mental health problems for them later in life. And then that cycle could just continue again and again and again and again, to the point where they could have a child and then they repeat the same thing again with their partner, or some sort of abuse to their kid, and it just keeps going. It just keeps going. The thing is, we are always a product of our environment, but we get to a point when we have matured enough that we're able to take better control and take responsibility for our own life and change it. However, most people cannot. Most people are unable to change that. Instead, they want to put the blame on someone else. Like, oh, I am the way that I am because of my upbringing, because of my parents, because of these people that abuse me. You're always blaming someone else. And it's like, when you're very young and you're acting that way, that is an excuse. Absolutely. That is certainly a valid excuse that could be used, because it's something that is a part of you until, I would say, well, it is technically a part of you until your entire life. Absolutely. However, once you get to a certain age, you're able to take better control of your life again. Whatever that age is, people mature in different ways. Some people, it seems as though they never mature. They're just always stuck in in the past. They're always stuck as if they just never aged mentally. Physically, they could be very, very old, but they're never mentally aging. They're just stuck in the past, always thinking about things that happened in the past, or just reminiscing over these things when they're not learning any life lessons whatsoever. They're not thinking about the actions that they've taken that have led to some of the bad decisions, some of the bad decisions that they've made, some of the poor choices that have led to the outcomes in their life. They're not really thinking about that. So instead, they push the blame on someone or something else because they don't want to take responsibility. And that comes down to a lot of people, even just with people without any sort of mental health problem. It could be so many people in general that they push the blame onto someone else because it's too hard for them to come to terms with. It's too hard for them to grasp. They don't want to acknowledge it. And it's a sad thing. It really is. So, again, these are all things to consider when it comes to raising a kid. It's a lot of things involved. But just as I said earlier, just as I've said multiple times now, it doesn't matter. All those things, as I just said, do not matter whatsoever because people will not listen to it. It does not matter if someone is a drug addict and there's so much abuse that they have with their partner and their life is a mess and they have no money whatsoever. That person will still have a child. And that child could grow up in a very, very bad environment and grow up to be just like this person who is drug addict, abusive, all that sort of stuff. Whereas the people who are actually consciously thinking about, am I ready to have a kid? Am I financially stable? Is my relationship with my partner in a good place? They end up waiting too long that, okay, maybe they can't have a kid anymore. It's just like the movie, as I mentioned earlier, because that's exactly how it was. And people, all of the either dumb people, the very, very dumb people, or the people who are just very, very, very just bad when it comes to their own physical well-being or their relationship or just things that they want out of life that they just don't really think about. It's a sad thing. It really is. It really is. Anyway, I would like to say hello to Marxist Heathen Granny, Ryan, Zoo, how are you doing today? Hopefully you're all doing fantastic today. I have said everything that I've needed to say about this topic at hand because there was no one here for about the first half hour or so. So I was actually quiet. I tried to be as quiet as I could for as long as I could. I could actually, I could really do it if I really tried, but it's like when I'm put on the spot here to talk, we should have a completely silent stream one time, just a full hour of just nothing. I mean, look, if there was no one who had come here, I would have said my thing here. I would have done a little bit more, and then we would have quit it. You know, you hit stream and then you quit, right? So that's just how it is. That's just how it is. It's interesting. I think it's because, holiday time. Probably a lot of people could be, I don't know if they're going to be traveling right now, but whatever the case is, they could be getting ready for the big time ahead with Thanksgiving. Possibly. Or, it's exactly as I said multiple times now, that people don't want to listen to this topic because they don't care about what requirements are or should be in place for having a kid. All they want to do is just plow away, make the babies, and not really think about it. And that is the very what would you call that? I guess because human beings are animals. That is the animalistic way of going about it, because that is what animals in nature do. Animals in nature aren't going to be like, okay, are we in a good environment? Is there any stressors in our, it's like, they're not thinking about that. Come on now, they're not thinking about it. And humans don't either. So, yeah, it's going to be just like the movie I mentioned. Just like the movie. All of the sophisticated people who are intelligent are not going to have the kids, and all of the dumb people who have an IQ smarter, not even as smart as a rock, are going to be the ones to reproduce until the whole world is filled with dumb people, which Honestly, I think we're already there. There's literally like so many people who are just, I'm not trying to sound rude or ignorant, but they are just very, very dumb. They really are. It's like, how can people believe some of the things that they do? How can people not see what's right in front of them? How can people be a parrot for something that they hear and not really have their own unique ideas and thoughts? How can people not think that what they're doing could be very hypocritical? It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Someone can say one thing and believe another, and they do it and they can't even see it. Most people don't want to acknowledge the truth of what's going on in their life and the world around them, so they just blissful ignorance, that's it, blissful ignorance, where they don't even want to think about it. It's like, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, you know? I'm the complete opposite of that. I'm someone who's very inquisitive. I'm always questioning things. I'm always thinking about things. I'm always coming up with different answers and solutions and ideas, but I'm not saying my way is the right way. I'm sure there's plenty of things that I don't really fully think about here and there. But the fact remains, the overwhelming majority of people, do not think. They are people who are, I don't like to call people dumb, but they are. They are. The overwhelming majority of people that you see walking around with their phone like this even, they're just zombies. They're just not there. They're not there at all. Anyway, so let me go through some of your comments here. Are we still talking about parenting? Kind of still a kid, and my partner puts up with my childness. So there you go. At least you realize, Marks and Healing Granny. At least you realize, Granny, that you are still a bit of a child yourself. So maybe you're not ready to have a kid yet, you know? Ryan has been searching for chicken lips. You have returned. Well, very, very good to hear. And you're in need of some green felt. Excellent. The smelly orphan, yes. I was speaking of the smelly orphans, indeed. Zoo says you are looking professional tonight. Well, thank you. What is professional? What is professional, Zoo? What do you mean by professional? I like a professional look personally. I do. That's the type of look that I like the most. A very sophisticated, intelligent looking professional look, I suppose. uh, so although I'm not, it's interesting. Most of what I wear is black anyway, so it's like, yeah. Primarily, I guess more so in like wintertime, because it's like longer sleeves and that sort of stuff. But when it comes to summertime, then yeah, you got to be more exposed. But it's not necessarily the best looking outfit, I guess. But Ryan says, I can tell you that children, as much as I love them, just aren't for me. Life is too difficult. The world is too crazy. I wouldn't wish this upon a child. Yeah, a lot of people think that too. Yep. Yep. Okay. Your show debuted on Friday. Well, congratulations, Ryan. I really hope that it continues to go well for you. Yeah, we only have another month left of the year, so I don't know how many shows you're planning between now and the end of the year, but congratulations to you. Let's see, the day and the age where everything being so expensive, I don't think raising a child is really a good idea. There you go. I love it when you stream. I'd watch every night. Well, thank you so much, Zoo. I appreciate that. Hard to believe I've been haunting Autumn streams for years now. Well, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. I appreciate you haunting them. It's always Halloween, right? Always Halloween. Yeah, since we're on the topic about, raising a kid and all that sort of stuff, before I show you my kids, okay, because I have a few kids. You haven't ever seen them before, okay? You haven't actually ever seen them before. So they're going to debut themselves very soon. But it is very interesting because, it's like, okay, some people here are kind of thinking about things are too expensive. I don't want to wish all this sort of stuff upon a child. Well, guess what? Even that sort of thought, the overwhelming majority of people are not thinking about. Okay? They just are not thinking about. As I said, most people, and I mean the overwhelming majority of people, they're not thinking about not having a kid. They're not thinking about even having a kid. They're just thinking about doing the deed and just whatever repercussions come from that. They just want to plow it away and then, uh-oh, baby. you know? Well, time to leave you and pay child support for the next 50 years. Yeah, 50 years. Oh. You had to factor in this guy here. It's not just one child he's paying child support for. He got one, he got two, he got three, he got four, he got five from all a bunch of different baby mamas, and he'd be paying child support for all of them. Most people that is where they're at. They're just not really intelligent to really think about the repercussions. They just aren't. But I guess since we're on people here not interested in having a child at all, that's basically been the same for me. Like ever since I was young, I just was not interested whatsoever, and I'm still not interested. Now some people say, okay, maybe that'll change if you find the right person and whatever. But it's like, here's the thing: the only way I would ever want to have a kid is if it's a biological kid that comes from me, and I'm not able to do that. Even I would have to have been born a female to be able to do that, because prior prior to my transition, it's like there is no way. There is no way. Because like I don't want to be the person who's going to impregnate someone. You know what I mean? It's like that's not where my mind is. So, hmm. So I can't in any sort of way. Of course, you can always adopt and whatever, but it's like I wouldn't want that. I would want to raise the kid myself. But yeah, I think just due to the upbringing that I have had, I think I could be a very good mother, very strict, because I never give in. I'm not going to be, rude or hateful to the kid and abuse them, but it's like whatever I say goes. You can try and beg all that you like, kid, but you're never going to get anywhere with me. And then they'll probably go ask daddy, and daddy will be like, okay. And be like, no, I said no. But it's like, I would be the very, very strict one, to be completely honest with you. So, that would be me. And I feel as though I can also be very protective as well, because, as I said, I have seen plenty of parents neglect their child or abuse them, and just I hear all these stories from all these people, and it's just terrible because I have my own experience with that, and I wanted to wish that upon anyone else. I would not want anyone else to go through what I went through, so this is why we talk about this topic, so people can understand you need to be in a proper place to raise kids. But people don't care, and people are not going to listen. They're just not. They're not. They're going to have the kid, and that's it. They don't care about anything else. And they don't even care about having the kid. Like, I don't want kids. And then you have, like, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids. Whole bunch of different parents. Whole bunch of different partners. Like, I don't want any kid. Well, there you go. It's like, okay. That is most people. That is most people. It's just how it is. Just how it is. So us sophisticated, intelligent people can consciously think about this and make our own decision and see the flaws in these other people. But they can't see it for themselves because they don't care to. But then again, I guess if anything follows with what we've been talking about, it is people like us who will never have the kids because we'll be worrying about this and that and we will never be ready, and it'll be the people who are not intelligent who will have the kids. And then things will go exactly as that movie did. The documentary. Everyone will be dumb, and even dumber than they are now. You know, hundreds of years from now. Sophia, great to have you here. How are you doing? Professional means as if you just got back from some kind of intellectual job. I'm always on an intellectual job. I'm always thinking intelligently as much as I can. Try to be, you know? It's like we always have to be thinking in depth and studying and learning and growing. You know? That's a lot of times. A lot of times. You had 2 kids before transition. Wow, Sophia. Very, 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 very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know how, you know, I would ever have done that. I couldn't. There'd be no way. But yeah, there you go. So, I've been talking about my own kids. Who wants to see my kids? You've never seen them before. I have 2 of my own. I'll show you the oldest one and then the youngest one. Here's the oldest one. And here's the youngest one. You've never seen them before. They are brand new. That's right. That's right. You've never seen my babies before. They were also the thumbnail as well. I was the thumbnail. I wasn't. Digit. There you go. These are my kids. See, these are the best kids because I get to control everything that they do. When you have a real kid, you can't control everything that they do. I can control them. That's all that matters. Right? So it's like, okay. Lady Lizard, you don't control anything that we do. I bet you are not going to control this. Only feet dot sniff. Digit. That's right. That's right, guys. That's right. Here you go. You can sit right here. And you can sit right there. There you go. How cute are they? So, here are my 2 little babies. You've never seen them before. Never seen them before. This is new Rooster number 1 and Rooster number 2. There you go. You've never even heard that name before. It's brand new to you. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. So yeah, as I said, from my standpoint, I wouldn't want any kids personally. Yeah, they are twins, but they were born on different days. I was born on Feettober 66. Ladies, what a year was I born? You were born in year 666. Yeah, 666. Digit. Boy, get back here. There you go. And boys and ladies, I'm over like 1,000,000 years old, so I actually created the whole universe, and I created you with my own 2 feet. Okay. When you know that book that you read called the Bible, well, they're actually talking about me because I created the universe and you with my feet dust. Oh man, awesome rads. They are awesome, aren't they? Very awesome. This one's looking right at you. There's right. Boys and ladies, can you bring your foot up to the camera, up to your phone, so I can give him a big old sniff, and then I'll sniff your feet. You were born in 1900, Granny. Oh, wow, you're 124 years old. That's amazing. you know, you're almost you're getting up there in age. You know, you're not quite as old as me. You're not even halfway actually, but you know, you're getting there. You're getting there. Maybe one day you will surpass my age. Here's a question for you. Is it possible to surpass someone's age? Is it possible to surpass someone's age if you're younger than them right now? There's one answer and only one answer. Whoever gets it correct gets a big old foot sniffing. You get a sniff of Risha's feet. DJ? Hmm. Funny stuff, right? Funny stuff. That's right. And I think we also know like who tends to be the oldest and youngest here. Who's the oldest in the crowd? Who's the youngest in the crowd? I know it's not me. I'm not the oldest or the youngest. I'm probably like maybe like in the middle. You know how it is. No one knows the answer. No one knows the answer, boys, if you can surpass someone's age if you're younger than them. It must have stumped everyone. Everyone is now stumped as to what the answer could possibly be. Well, there is a surprise for Thanksgiving. Let's say probably no one in the chat is going to get it. Oh, never mind. Someone in the chat did. Okay, we got Devoured Eagle. Congratulations. I like how Roosh is right on my face. You've never seen before. Star Helix, congratulations. Star Helix actually is not here today, so you got a gift membership. Congratulations. Early Thanksgiving present. Let the Monsters In, congratulations. AKA Ryan Trembling. You're trembling in of excitement. Lockski, congratulations. And Adrian's Lair, congratulations to all of you, all of your gift memberships that you have received. Okay. Boys, it's time to put you back. No one could answer the trivia question, which means no one gets to sniff your feet, because we don't do free foot sniffs around here. They have to pay or answer a trivia question correctly. And unfortunately, it just went above everyone's head. I'm very surprised. I thought we had some very intellectual people here to answer the question. But we did not. Not today, boy. Anyway, we're going to see what the card is for the week, because this is going to be Thanksgiving week. There could be a lot of family chaos, a lot of family problems, a lot of family bickering. How can you keep sane? Well, take some deep breaths and don't get involved in arguments. Just let it be. There could be so much craziness. There could be people who dislike you, dislike your ideas, political divide, all this other stuff. So let's draw a card and see what the theme is for the week. It is the Lovers. The Lovers, there you go. Okay, is that appropriate? Is that appropriate to show? Let's put that right up there. Okay, the Lovers. Harmony, trust, romance, optimism, honor, and love. That's exactly what I was just saying, folks. This Thanksgiving week, this is what you should be doing with your friends and family. No matter how much you dislike them, you can still love them. You can still respect them. Don't get into arguments with them. The best thing to do. Sometimes you need to remove yourself from the argument. You know, if you're in a place where you feel as though there's an argument happening and you can't like get, you know, like you want to speak up, you want to say something. It's like hold it and just leave for a moment to be collected so you're not in that situation. Oh, the Moomin Troll! Hello, Moomin Troll. Sends hello to Roosta. Thank you, Moomin Troll. If you would like to see my feet, Moomin, you have to join onlyfeet.snip. Okay, we're gonna answer a few more questions, then we're gonna head off here now. Do you feel like your zodiac sign? So, what is my zodiac sign? Does anyone know? What is my zodiac sign? Or what do I seem like to you? What do I seem like to you? What could it be? I'll give people 5 seconds. I am an Aries. Let's see, you sent... what is that one? I don't know the symbols. Let me find the symbol. Because I don't know what that one is. That is a Gemini. I am not a Gemini. I am an Aries. I am an Aries. And I would say a lot of times, yes, my zodiac sign fits me for the most part. Yeah. For the most part, it does. Not necessarily all the time. I mean, you can't necessarily have it fit all the time, but yeah, a lot of times it does. Like sports and compete, yeah, that particular thing does not fit me. That's like the one thing that really does not fit me for the most part. I do not like sports, although I do like physical activity. Always have to like physically be doing something or moving. It's like I like that, but not necessarily competitive. I just let things be. But that's something that I've kind of learned, I guess, is also kind of like a learned thing over the years. But anyway, folks, I think I'm going to be heading off here now. I'm going to wish you all a fantastic and peaceful Thanksgiving ahead. That's right. We're having a Thanksgiving sale on my OnlyFeet account. You get 666% off. So it goes from $100 trillion a second down to like $40 trillion a second. Boy, stop. Can't be promoting your own OnlyFeet here. Okay, so that is all, folks. So take care. Have a great week. And I look forward to seeing you again first thing in December, when we approach the last month. So take care. See you later. Bye-bye.